We just got our first look at Spirit Halloween's ISC and full in-store demos. Let's talk about it. So right now, I'm going to start off this video of showing you the Spirit Halloween ISC video of showing all the demos and what is the ISC looks like right now.
I am Jack the Reaper.
Give me your soul.
My grandma can throw better than you.
Monkey see, monkey dream.
I carry the eternal flames.
Twice the cuddles, suffocating tight. Knives and throat in dead of night.
That sound? That's the grinding of my bones.
You guys just saw that. I'm going to be comparing 3 videos, the quick ISCs of all the demos, the one where it's the store tour of Spirit Halloween, and the Nate video that just released. I'm going to compare all those and show you and tell you guys what's the best decision for this year. So our first look is Nate walks in the store and we see Jack the Reaper and Crypt Countless. Jack the Reaper's video got leaked out yesterday. So I think these two look very good. Crypt Countless, of course, they always make the animatronics look as best as they can online, so we don't know for sure if they're going to be really that great in person. But Crypt Countless looks, in my opinion, I think good, but I think online she did look a bit better. Her hair in the Nate video is all in her face, and you cannot see her face, which it is an easy fix. You probably just need like a hair tie or something, but we kind of, in my opinion, I would kind of want her full hair, but the hair kind of just gets in the way. So, I think she's really cool. I just think her hair, I don't always like how they just get in the way, and we can't see the amazing job Spirit did on designing the face. But that's Crypt Countless, and then right beside her is Jack the Reaper. Jack the Reaper, I think, is a great animatronic. I'm so happy that Spirit Halloween has finally decided to do Jack the Reaper animatronic after 40 years of Spirit Halloween. I think he looks amazing. His face looks super cool. It's really cool that he has the tracking sensor as he follows you, like the Nibbles motor. I'm super proud, or not proud. I'm happy Spirit Halloween decided to do this because it really shows that their own creation of a monster, Jack the Reaper, but there is a downside in my opinion. I was really hoping Jack the Reaper wasn't floating as much. I was kind of hoping he would kind of be looking like the statue where he has the whole body and he looks massive. There's some hands that fell off during shipping, but I think it looks fine. There's not too much hate about him, except the pricing I think is not great on this guy. I guess their own monster creature, but $330 is a really big price to ask for. I think maybe $280 would be good. But yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the front. And I think the ISCs for the front look amazing with the Madison Square Park right away. It looks super good. Next we see the subway with Bullseye on the right and the Valak the Valak on the left. And before we walk in, we see a little post thing that we saw in the teaser trailer. That's part of their ISCs. Bullseye's hands, as you see in the Nate video, are absolutely massive. I love how Spirit Halloween always makes their hands bigger on the animatronics, and his head is huge too. I think this guy is great for the pricing. I just don't like that his Bullseye is cardboard. I wish they could have used something else. But I still think it looks really cool. I think Bullseye is a great prop this year, and I'm probably going to be getting him. The Valak looks the same online. I'm happy she's not different at all. She looks good. $300, a bit pricey, but I still think she looks good. I don't want to say so much about her. And then you see the front of the subway. It says Spirit Station Z, and then the next stop 31st or something. And then we see the front of the subway with the 3 mirrors, and then Jack the Reaper's face with like yellow bars in the way. I think this looks amazing. I love how they added the lights. I think the subway I see looks super cool, and they even have railroad tracks that show that the subway like was kind of moving. It wasn't actually, but it shows that it's a subway that's moving. So I think they did a great job on that. Next we see in the video, Jack the Reaper character is pulling up on a lever, and then it starts shaking, and then in the Nate video, the ground starts shaking. I love how they always had the vibrating. I think they had that a couple years back, but I love that. I love how they did that, and it's like in the front of the subway, you can shows you all the control stuff. You can actually pick up a phone and start pressing numbers, and you can hear stuff, which I think is super cool how they did that. I think they went all out on the ISC this year, and I love everything about the front area. There's like seating areas as you go in, the glass breaks. We have sitting Scarecrow on the side, and I think in the Nate video there was scary sitting Scarecrow. I don't know for sure though. And then the very back, we see Mutant Sewer Rat, which in the Nate video, he looks absolutely amazing. But in the Chilling Props video, he looks super pale. I don't know if that's just some Mutant Sewer Rats, but I think he looks great in the ISC videos with the Nate. And I think it looks super cool. The inside of this, they did a great job in the interior. And then you can look up, you see a hologram of Jack the Reaper breaking wires and then putting them back together or something. I think that's super, super cool. And then, also, I'm surprised the electrified corpses in the ISC. Usually, we don't see flashbacks in the ISCs. And then, the screen kind of tweaks out in the Madison Scare Park video, and we see what we saw from the ISCs, or the one video for the teaser trailer. We saw, like, the control panels, and everything looks really good. Also, I like how they have, like, little ads of their characters in the subway, just like a real subway. Then, like I said, the screen tweaks out, and then we see the right of the subway. Also, I want to point out in Nate's video, we saw him looking towards Backbend Bonnie in the mirror, which I think her face is so scary. We get to really, like, have a feel of what she's gonna do and how scary she looks. So I'm super excited to see her in person because her face looks straight out of the Conjuring movies. This one is really growing on me a lot, especially that face. She looks like she's straight out of a nightmare, and she has super, like, a lot of nightmare fuel. I think she's super cool. Like I said, we see her on the right of the subway. We see Backbend Bonnie twisting her back slowly, which I think they did an amazing job, Backbend Bonnie, and only $180, plus the 20% off. I think she is, I might get her this year because how good of a price she is. And then we see in the middle, Monkey Business. He doesn't look that much different from the video we saw online of him. I think he looks really good. I just kind of was wishing, because he talks for a bit, and then the monkey comes up, but he only talks for a second or two. I wish he had a little bit more to say. But like Nate said in the video, he looks like from one of those old horror movies with clowns. And I love how the monkey pops out. And I like how it says just for you. I think this prop is really cool. I just don't like the pricing on it. I think $330 is a little bit too much to ask for. Like I said, $280, $300, I think is good for these clown props. And then on the farthest right, we see Fire Demon. Fire Demon looks massive, and you can see him, like, fold out, kind of, and his face looks so good. This guy doesn't look anything different from his video we saw online. He's definitely super cool. $310, like, it's a bit too much to ask for, but 20% off is $248. Yes, I think this guy is super cool, and I might be ending up getting this guy this year, probably towards the end of the season, because I do have a couple more props I would like to get before him. And then we see one of the ads, Betty Sharp, which is really funny, because Betty Sharp was a kind of iconic prop from that Betty Sharp meme. But then we see the left of the Spirit Z subway, which we can see more the top of the ISCs, which they even went all out for. I really like it. And then we see Sinister Strawman. I don't really like this prop. Another Mr. Dark reskin. I'm not going to say too much about him. In the middle, we see Twisted Grandma. Another one of my favorites this year. I love how she twists her neck and then her body like fully rotates in a 180 direction. And I love how her hands like kind of like go like she's gonna grab you. And she says phrases about like going to bed and stuff. I think she's super cool. I'm pretty sure she's 230. Alright, this is gonna be towards the middle of the video, and I do want to say something. I'm super happy Nate was able to go in the Spirit Halloween store, because I finally get to like have a sense of what Spirit has really shown this year, not on online. I think that's super cool. I just think it's kind of weird they didn't invite a couple other people, not just one person. I get it, because maybe they didn't want fans surrounding. I don't know for sure, though. I think it's kind of weird. But on the farthest to the right, we have Headcase Harry, which online I was a bit hesitant about. But this guy in person looks massive, huge. The height on him looks super big. I think he's 6'2" or something. And then his blood looks a little bit, not the greatest. But I'm loving how they decided to do blood, and they're putting him in store, which is amazing. His dagger or whatever he has in his hand looks super cool. I love how he's like gripping it tightly, and there's blood on it too. And then we finally get to see the right of his hand where there's candy, and on the video we couldn't really see it, but we see what the candies are really gonna look like, and I think they look amazing. It's super cool. I love how both the heads start talking, and then at the end they like talk to each other and laugh. I think that's super creepy, and I just love this prop. And what is really cool about Headcase Harry, we get to see the motion activator this year that you press on and he starts moving. And I love how they decided to add that in the video. They didn't have to, but they decided to do that. And going with Headcase Harry is amazing. I love how it's like the glass is broken. I'm just super happy we get to see everything in stores for the first time. But then we see the screen go to the very back. There's Jumping Spider. Don't really have to say too much. Night Owl. Looks exactly like the online video, but Night Owl, of course, is not a great prop. I don't just know why they decided to make something like this. No one is gonna probably use this in a haunt. I see this maybe in a wooded haunt, like in the woods, but let's be honest, most houses are not near like wooded tree areas, so I just don't know why they decided to do this. It's still a cool prop, but I don't like it. And then to the very right, we have Trick or Treat Pete, which I was a bit skeptical on this guy. But as we see in stores, which I love that we get to see him finally in stores, he looks actually really tall. But you really get to see that 5'6", I think he's how tall he is, in the 5 foot area. And I think that's really cool. Spirit Owl has decided to have animatronics spitting out candy, decides from just holding them and jump scaring them. This guy's super cool. I'm not gonna probably get him this year, but I just love how Spirit decided to go a new mechanism, a new way that Halloween companies have never tried before. Even professionals, we don't see them spitting out stuff. So Spirit, good job on him. And then we lastly see the last section on the very, very back of the Spirit Z station. It's like the exit, as it says. I think that looks really cool. But the next prop they do not show in this video is, in my opinion, is one of the best props we've ever seen in the Halloween industry, even professional props, in my opinion. This prop is peak Spirit. I'm gonna tell you why right now. We're gonna be talking about Young He. Okay, so I'm gonna be honest. At first, I thought this would be a horrible thing to do. I did not know the height, and once we saw the pricing, $800, that is absolutely insane for her. 20% off. That's around maybe $700, $650, which in my opinion is still a horrible pricing for her. But we saw the height, 9 feet, which in the show I'm pretty sure she's around 9 feet, more like 20 feet, I don't know. But there's a whole section of the Squid Game, and then we see her standing on like a sandy patchway, and then there's like the red light, green light exit area. You could step on her path, and she does everything that she does in the show. She turns her head, she starts talking, and you could either do English or Korean. She moves her head, and she says the whole red light, green light phrase. She turns her head, and her eyes move around. The whole thing looks amazing. It literally looks like they put a tiny bit of a smaller version from the Squid Game, and they gave it to Spirit, and then they got to see, and we have the Youngie. That's the finished product. She is so cool. $800 is a lot, but 50% off, $400. I think that's a must get. I can see so many YouTubers using her in videos. I think this prop is just super peak. I don't know if there's how many stock of her, but I just think this prop is absolutely insane looking. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I just want to recap quickly. I'm super happy we got to see everything in stores and what we can get a first feel. We don't know when Flagship opens yet. They don't even know. Spirit doesn't even know when Flagship opens yet. So we will have to see. I might be at Flagship. I definitely will be trying to go on a weekend, which I hopefully they will open on a weekend so I can go up there. But that's all I'm going to have to say. I think my 3 top favorite this year is Young-hee. She's just amazing. I'm really happy. We have never seen a Squid Game animatronic in the industry. And then also Bullseye and Headkeys Harry. Those are my top 3. I think Spirit did an amazing job this year, especially on Young-hee. Remember, at 500 subscribers, there is a giveaway, so make sure to subscribe. And as I always say, stay Halloweeny.